I hand over now to Chamberlain in Lagos, whom I understand has another guest in waiting. Chamberlain.
Well, yes, indeed. It's Mr. Deolu Ogunbanjo, who is the National President of National Association of Telecom Subscribers. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Well, the EVC has spelled out the measures that they are taking to ensure that things go well here. You've seen some of those measures. How far-reaching are they?
Well, thank you very much. The NCC as the regulator, yes, they are trying. It's just that to the consumer, they are not trying enough. The consumer wants good quality service. He wants a situation where, whenever he calls, that is, the call setup rate is fine, call connection is good, then call termination is also good. Yes, but at the moment, that is not so. Everybody knew last year, except the last 2 weeks of December, that quality was fine. The last quarter of last year was so bad. It wasn't fine at all. So to the consumer, quality of service is still very poor. And also, yes, NCC may be taking these measures. They've done that before last year. Sometime in June, they gave them up to September to improve. Nothing happened. Now they've shifted the goalpost again to March, which is tomorrow, 2017. Hopefully this will work, but as we speak, it's not been the same.
So what's been done now to address issues that have repeatedly come up from the consumers? For instance, now they complain that they're getting unnecessary calls from, maybe advertorial calls from the telcos. What's been done about this? Is this permissible?
Definitely we are at the crossroads here. NCC again had been since last year saying, look, there is, they actually held a meeting with both consumers and the operators that, look, there is going to be a code. Once you dial that code, which is *2442#, all these unsolicited messages and all that will stop. Also, voice calls. The moment you now send *2442 to the operator in question, they should stop giving you unnecessary and unsolicited voice calls. But as we speak, it is still the same. So that is why consumers are still believing that, look, NCC is still pampering the operators, because they should actually be impartial. To us, they are still on the side of the operators.
So there's really no change from, say, dating back from 2 years back to what is happening now?
Sincerely, there isn't any change in the meantime, because consumers are still suffering poor quality of service.
So what the consumers you've spoken to, what would they have the NCC do?
They will want the NCC to actually start biting and not backing, by ensuring that there are penalties. As soon as I bring a complaint to the operator, yes, he did mention the 622 toll-free line. After I must have complained to the operator and I'm dissatisfied as a consumer, I can now call the NCC on 622. And yes, a number of those, once you get to NCC, a larger percentage is resolved. But must I go to the operator all the time? And then how many of us can go the extra mile to, actually...
Yeah, but isn't that... sorry to butt in there, because, if you say for the past 2 years nothing is being done, but now you say that a larger percentage of the complaints when you get to 622 is being resolved. Isn't the ultimate aim to do that, resolve the issues?
Yes, but the problem is, thank God, the EVC, I just listened to the interview, the EVC mentioned that there's a toll-free, although he didn't say it, he didn't say the 622, but...
but it is 622?
Yes, it is 622. NCC should continue to enlighten Nigerians and put adverts on the radio that the moment you are dissatisfied, call 622, with the operator, call 622. They are not doing that yet. That is not enough. I know that people don't know that. So if that is, in the mind of every Nigerian, then maybe a number of these issues will be, sorted out. But I must also add that, you see, the operators, you take advantage of this. because if I'm complaining, for instance, that they, took my 100 naira, the best, and you have complained to them and they're still unresolved, should I, because of 100 naira, go to court? Those are the issues.
How strong is the synergy between the NCC and the telcos today? Because one will want to see that there is more response time. We're talking about response time now. When a customer complains about something, that the NCC is aware of it through the code you talked about, and the telcos themselves are also addressing the issue. So how fast are they able to resolve these issues, do you think?
The telcos, yes, they're pretty polite whenever you call them that you have some complaints. But that is where it ends. The moment after, the pleasantries and all that, they may, it's not in all cases, they may send you an SMS saying that, they are attending to your complaints. Again, they also can give some resolution numbers, which you can quote. But most of it are still unresolved. When you now get back to them, they will say, okay, we will look into it again. This is where NCC should now come in to educate Nigerians that, look, the moment you are dissatisfied once, twice, you can call 622. That must be on the mind of NCC to continuously educate Nigerians.
Let me pick up on something you said.
Yes.
You talked about the fact that, yes, they've got 622. You can call that if you've called the company first and you don't get any resolution, then 622 should be able to get you sorted out. And then you also spoke about how many of Nigerians or subscribers are willing to go the whole hog. That seems to be a challenge. We don't seem to be ready to ensure that we raise these complaints and take it to a logical conclusion. Is that your point?
Yes, some of us are rather complacent. Some consumers are complacent that, look, how much is it? Is it just 100 naira, 50 naira, or at best maybe you have loaded a 500 naira or 1,000 naira card and it's off. Or you probably have borrowed some credit and they are over deducting your, the credit. Or so many complaints like that. But once you now complain to the operator, they say yes, they are going to attend to it, very few cases are attended to and actually resolved. But if that is not done, NCC should please start educating Nigerians on the 622 Enlightenment Code.
All right, we'll be back in a moment. Don't go away. Welcome back to Sunrise. The NCC will always say that they also have to balance their acts. They need to ensure that while they are ensuring to their regulations and telcos comply, they also need to ensure that they survive. You think it's a delicate balancing act, or they can as well do that and ensure consumers get their money's worth?
Yes, I must say that NCC has the duty to ensure that they survive, but not at the expense of consumers' quality of service, because the consumer wants to have good service and good value for money. But again, you must also look at NCC as being, a commission that should play the balancing act. But for now, to us, to consumers, they are on the side of the operators. However, I must also say that NCC should try I know that they do have some programs, Consumer Telecoms Parliament for urban centers, Consumer Outreach Program for suburban centers, and the Consumer Town Hall meetings for rural areas. At all these, and I think they do it once a month, and they also rotate it nationally. I must give credit to that. But they must start happening on this 622 toll-free line at all times. That look, at every center, they have to announce to consumers that are there that please, once you are dissatisfied with your with your operator, ensure that you call us through 622.
All right, and Chief Deolu Ogunbanjo is the National President of National Association of Telecom Subscribers. Thank you for talking to us this morning.
Thank you very much.